Hey everybody, you know who it is. I had a pretty interesting night last night. Um, my father and my mother live down in Alabama, Athens, Alabama. And I get my father is 90, my mom is 81. My father is on oxygen. He has COPD, he has asthma. He had cancer in one lung that they cut out about half of one lung years ago. But I get a call that he had fallen and hurt his leg, which they thought at the time that brought up his blood pressure because he was in pain, but it was also affecting him getting any oxygen in his body because he was panicking. And so his oxygen count dropped down to around 50, and he was having a real hard time breathing. So they ended up having to take him to the hospital. When he actually got to the hospital last night, he couldn't hardly breathe. He was looking for some help, and these people immediately started on him. He was going to have to be COVID tested before they can give him any help. He told him they was scared to death of it because he don't trust what's going on. He don't believe what's going on, but he was scared to death of it and didn't want to take it. Well, these doctors that, from what I hear, they go through all this medical training and everything. They either swear to or sign a hypocritical oath that they're supposed to go out here and help people. If they can help them, they're supposed to help them. That's their job. Well, it hasn't become that now. Today it is, their job is not to help you. Today, these hospitals and these damn doctors' only job is to force feed you whatever the government wants them to force feed you. And that's vaccines right now, that's testing, it's COVID across the board. So I'm telling you right now, people, this man, my father, 90 years old, Korean War combat vet. He was in the Chosin Reservoir battle. When he was found by the Marines, when the Marines finally came in there, he was in the Army. There was 25 people left of his old battalion. And those guys were frozen, frostbitten, and from crawling around on the frozen ground and shit on their hands and knees. Even my dad's knees, feet, and hands were frostbitten when they found him. But these Marines found him, they went in there and got him out. Saved his life, probably. Now, my dad never asked these motherfuckers for nothing. Oh, I take that back. He did use his VA loan to buy the first house he ever owned. So he did use their VA loan. But other than that, my father never asked the government for nothing in his life. When he was self-employed, he paid them more in income taxes than he should have ever paid them because him and my mom wanted to make sure they would never be in trouble with the federal government. So they would pay more than they even had to, just to make sure. This man ain't never asked the government for nothing. Until a couple of years ago, he finally started asking because his medical problems have gotten to be so big, and his medications and stuff, he needed help with his medications. And the government came in 50 years after he went over there and fought in a war for him. He wasn't drafted either, people. He volunteered. He did not get drafted. He volunteered. But 50 years later, he finally needs some help out of VA. He goes to him trying to get some help. VA tells him there's no record of him ever being in the military. They told him there must have been a fire somewhere and all your information burned up in that one little fire. Well, we went in, dug up, went through his paperwork, and we found his original honorable discharge paper and his DD-214. On his DD-214, this man has 3 bronze stars and 1 silver star. That means he was a highly decorated combat vet from the chosen reservoir battles of the Korean War. This man asked the VA for help, and they refused him, up until just a couple months ago. Now this man goes over here. He's having a hard time breathing. He's on oxygen. They all know what's going on with him. And the first thing they do, because he needs their help, the first thing they do is force a COVID test on him. Rammed this thing up his nose so far he thought they were trying to kill him. Less than 100-pound, 90-year-old man being forced on him to get help out of a hospital where he's dying, and they would not help him unless he took the test. This is how they're going to get your consent, people. They'll wait until you're dying. Use these medical people. The only reason these medical people are going along with this crap is because the government has regulated them so bad. If they don't, they lose everything they have. And they worship money more than anybody. Their medical people are just like lawyers. It's all about the money. Most of the time. I can't say all of them, but the majority of them. It's all about the money. And I pray all the time, because the doctors, and one day maybe I'll do a video on all the stuff they've done to me. That they've done to me. But that ain't today. Today, this is the videos about this COVID bullshit. Now, I have a granddaughter that this was forced onto because she was a premature baby. She was born early. She's had many medical problems. And they forced this same test on my baby granddaughter. Now, they forced this test on the oldest person in my family. My dad. I'm just about done, people. I'm just about done with the fact that you people will believe anything. You people will believe anything the government tells you. Let me tell you something that happened at the beginning of this year. My niece was pregnant with twins. Back when she started having problems, she had been pregnant for a few months, started having problems. I had to start seeing a doctor and stuff. She ended up 3 or 4 months into this pregnancy, she ended up in the hospital. In the emergency room, she was losing both babies. They ended up having to pull both babies because they died, miscarried. I don't know what it was that caused it, because that part of my family don't talk to me because they think I'm crazy. But this is my niece anyway. And while she's in that hospital, losing her babies. And her husband couldn't even be in there with her because these doctors wouldn't allow it, because of the government that's pushed this fake pandemic. She went through that all by herself. No family. Her husband wasn't allowed. He stood out in the parking lot screaming why he couldn't be up there. You know, people, this pandemic is fake. It is fake as hell. It's a lie. I don't care who says it isn't. It's a lie, period. And they're going to make sure everybody feels the COVID sting. It's not going to be from the sickness, people. It's going to be from the ignorance of just like this. A wife losing 2 babies in a hospital, and her husband couldn't be there. My granddaughter being forced to have something rammed up her nose, and we don't know what's on these damn things are ramming up inside people's heads for a vaccine test or for a virus test. It's bullshit, people. Now the oldest person in my family, 100 pounds, 90-year-old man, was forced by you bastards to allow you to shove something, which we don't know what the hell it was, up into his head. And I don't care who you are and how many damn degrees you hold. If you think that's right, you work for Satan. If you think making somebody do something that they don't want to do is right, you work for the devil's herd. You work for Satan. And I'll tell you this, you doctors that are out here, I don't care how much you want to sit and tell me, well, if I don't do this, they're going to take my license. If I don't do that, they're going to take my license. If I don't do this, I'm going to lose everything. Well, you better get out of your car and hug it. Kiss that car. Walk up to your house. Rub on the side of your house. Love on that house. Kiss that house. Love. Go to your bank. Walk up and ask the teller if you can go inside where your money is, and you roll in it. You hold that money. You hold it precious to your heart. You kiss it. Love it. Love that money. Because it doesn't matter if you're doing it for that reason. You will lose your soul for what you're doing. Because you medical people are sticking stuff in people they shouldn't even have in them. And if you're not doing it on purpose, then you're doing it because you're being paid to do it. Or you're just right down stupid and don't even know what you're doing. Either one of those 3 things still makes you evil. And I'm going to start praying that maybe each and every one of you medical people are lined up and get the answer for all that on Judgment Day. Which I know I don't even have to pray about that. God's going to deal with you for certain. That's why there's so many of you guys out here. You want to believe that you're flying around on this globe Earth, flying through an endless vacuum of space filled with gazillions and gazillions and gazillions of stars and suns and moons and planets and people and aliens and all that. You want to believe that because if the truth is there is a God, things might not be looking so great for you. So you want to grasp at that evolution bullshit. You want to grasp at NASA having a space station supposedly floating above our heads. Been to supposedly the moon. You guys want to believe that shit. Because if the Bible's right, you're not going to fit in very well. And I'm telling you, I've told this to the cops, and I'm going to tell this to you medical people. You ain't no different. Just because you're following orders isn't going to get you out of it. Just because you're following orders and doing a job is not going to be the answer God's going to accept on Judgment Day for why you've ruined people's lives, health. You've ruined their health. When you swore on that Hippocratic oath to save people and do no harm to people, and you did it. You just remember that. But I'll tell you right now, people, I don't care if I couldn't breathe, if I was bleeding to death. I would not go to one of your damn hospitals. Not today. And not from now on, the way things are going. I will never go back to one of your hospitals. I will take my chances with God. And I'm going to tell you one more time. Don't bring your fucking test. Don't bring your fucking vaccine. And don't bring your fucking bullshit to my house. Because I'm not afraid of death. Are you? You keep pushing, people. You keep pushing. They're going to get what they want. And they want us all killing each other in a war. That's what they want. And you idiots are going to keep watching this Trump-Biden bullshit. If you had a brain in your damn head, you would write in, I choose none of the above. I choose none of the above. These clowns do not deserve to be sitting in the White House. Not the one that's sitting there and not the one trying to get there. Neither damn one of them. And when you people, you keep fucking giving them consent, you see what, you think this year was bad, you see what happens next year. Because this shit ain't going to get better until this is, and this shit ain't ever going to get better. You're going to have to do vaccines all the damn hell. Now they got a vaccine for shingles, they got a vaccine for hemorrhoids, they got a vaccine for fucking cancer sores, or canker sores, they got a vaccine for polio, they got a vaccine for cancer, they got a vaccine for everything now, baby, people. And you guys will line up. You'll line up at that CVS. Give me, or Walgreens. Give me anything you got. Just load up that needle with anything you want to and pump it in my body. Yes, aluminum, yes. Put some aluminum in there. Put some barium, strontium. Put hell, let's get some mercury in there. Let's get some shit in there that's just going to really burn some brain cells. Well, people, that's my rant for the day. And I know it's probably falling on deaf ears, so it really don't matter. But this shit is being pushed and pushed closer to my house. It will not enter my yard. I will come out of this fighting, people. I will grow my fingernails out just so I can fight you tooth and nails.